I'm guessing we're not live since. The Broncos country, I am back for round two after my internet just died on me. So, if you're coming back into the show, let's pick it back up where we left off. Again, my name's Kevdan. You're watching Broncos Brunch. If you're just joining us today, we were having a fantastic conversation about the Broncos and Browns game today with plenty of people in here, some solid comments, and then my internet's gone. So, let's try to get this conversation picked back up. I apologize for the technical delays on my side. But again, my name's Kevdan. Hit that share button for me, guys. Try to get other people back in here. I'd appreciate you guys helping me out that way. And so post some more comments and questions. Richard is back. Richard, I'm glad you're back. It's not the dog's fault. I wish I could say that the dog did it, but fortunately, it was my computer. Computer just kicked me off the internet, so that's always fun. Hopefully, the Broncos are a little more consistent than my internet today. Maybe. But again, just smiles. We're just smiling today. Okay, post some comments, questions about the Broncos today, and see what you think. So again, we were talking about how the Browns have the 29th ranked run defense and what they're going to do to try and stop our own run game. And that might remind you guys of what it looked like back in the Kansas City game, which I know a lot of us want to forget. But it is hard to forget that when it was not that good. I'm going to get the start party or the watch party started back up here so we can get some more people. But keep posting your comments, questions, guys. For the 9 of you who are back in here the second time around, I appreciate it. Let's see. I cannot talk and type at the same time. Excuse me, guys. Post some comments, questions for me, and we can talk about Broncos football here more in just a second. There we go. Cool. So, man, I don't even remember where we're at. So let's get some more score predictions from you guys. No, this is part 2 if you're just joining me. The 5 of you that are back in here, Richard and anyone else, I appreciate it. Yeah, I want to end that one. Oh, come on. Work with me here. Sorry, guys. Internet issues. Let's definitely keep going and talking more about Broncos Brunch. Football, Broncos versus Browns. This show is awesome. You fans are fantastic. It's always a good time to have you guys on here. I hate doing this, guys. I want to try and give you guys really solid content. And when my computer kicks me off the internet, it's always painful for me. I'm sure you guys as well. It's not Broncos versus Broncos. It's Broncos versus Browns. Here we go. Okay. And we're starting a new watch party. Okay, guys. My name is Kevdan. You're watching Broncos Brunch here on Orange Weekly. After I start that, got some score predictions earlier in the show before my internet stopped. We heard some of 16-16 tie. We heard a 17-10 win for the Broncos. Several things, obviously, we're still watching. I want to hear your thoughts. What do you expect from Allen today? Rypien's the backup, and knowing that we have 2 quarterbacks here that have never played a snap in a regular season NFL game, what do you think Scangarello is going to do? What do you think the coaching staff is going to do to help alleviate that? How much do you think the offensive line is going to really show up today? We are live again here on Facebook. My name's Kevdan. I'm trying to see if this stream is up and running. We have had some technical issues today, so I apologize for all of that. But we are going to talk some Broncos football. So if you guys see this video, this is our 3rd take for the day. Don't know why my computer is being funky, but it is. So let's try this once again. Cool. The people that have joined back in, again, I apologize for the problems we've had today this morning. I want to talk Broncos football with you guys a little bit more and see what you guys' take is on the Broncos versus the Browns game. Covered a lot of things from the quarterback situation and our own run game, our own offense, Scangarillo. I want to hear what you guys have to say about Scangarillo. I think he's the one that's been under the most pressure this week from both the media and the team, especially after hearing what Joe Flacco had to say in last week's post-game press conference, essentially throwing Scangarillo and the coaching staff under the bus. And that was painful. Hey, Andrew, glad it's working now. I don't know what happened, man. Internet kicked me off. Glad you guys are back. If you guys hit that share button for me, I appreciate it. We'll try and keep this video going a little while longer. Guys, my name's Kevin, and you're watching Broncos Brunch here on Orange Weekly. Let's talk Broncos versus Browns. Now, I want to hear from you guys more. What do we expect from the Browns offense, and what is our defense going to do to stop them? Mayfield and company are angry. Nick Chubb last week against a loss to the Patriots fumbled twice, if not 3 times. But so, he's looking to come back and bounce back himself. So, it might be a little tougher for us to strip the ball out of his hands and get that fumble. I don't know. Could be another game where he's just in his own head, keeps dropping the ball, and hopefully we recover some of those. Richard, I think he doesn't have a QB who can execute the plays called. Okay. So I don't disagree. I do not disagree with that statement there. So what do we do? We can't look, if we go out with a very simple game plan, we're going to lose the game. We have to find ways to keep the Browns the Browns defense on their toes. We got to throw some, play action pass in there. That only works if we have a run game. That only works. And if I'm the Browns, I'm completely agreeing with you, Richard. I'm completely agreeing with you. The Browns are sitting there saying the Broncos don't have a quarterback. They essentially do not have a quarterback that can really step up and make these plays. At least the plays that are called. Yeah, he's mobile. So we have to watch that because he's a younger guy. But otherwise, he doesn't have any game experience over the last 4 years that he's been in the NFL. So let's stop their run game and force him to throw the ball. Now, we can sit here, and I'm sure for the halftime hash show that I'll be doing for you guys today, we're going to be saying more play action pass. Maybe some bootleg, stuff like that. Those plays only work if we have a run game. And as David's pointed out earlier in the show, who's our newest member of Orange Weekly, he's out at the game today, the Browns do have the number 29th ranked run defense in the league. And I'm sorry, that just brings me back to the Kansas City game. All of us sat here and said, man, they have a terrible run defense. We are going to run all over the Chiefs because that's what every team up until we played them had done. And then the Chiefs shut down our run game. What are the Browns going to do today? They have the 29th worst ranked run defense in the league. Coming to town today, wanting to make a name for themselves, kind of show that they are not as much of a terrible team as their record shows. And we have a brand new quarterback that has never played a snap in the NFL. I think you guys are seeing where I'm going with this. This is a Kansas City game part 2, in essence. Okay, Pedro says, let's see what Allen has. We might be pleasantly surprised. I completely agree, Pedro. Thanks for watching the show, by the way. I completely agree. I am hoping that my cautiousness is killed in the first quarter. I can sit here and say, okay, this guy's making some plays. He's taking some chances. He's moving the ball with his feet. He's taking those chances. He sees the hole, and he runs to that first down marker or more. Hey, we try a bootleg, and this guy can, if the pass just isn't there, he can get some yards with his feet. Things that Flacco cannot do. If that's the case, man, I am happy. And Pedro, I'm going to sit here and say you were 100% right. Why was I even cautious about this guy? I mean, he was with the 49ers. He was the backup quarterback for the last 4 years, and so, with Kyle Shanahan as his head coach, I mean, it's interesting to see what he's going to do, how he's going to put it on the football field, and what the Browns defense is going to do to stop him. I think if I'm the Browns defense, again, I'm more worried about stopping the run game and then relying on your secondary to stop the pass game. We will see. Andrew, glad you're back again, man. I appreciate you guys watching. Says, I think the offensive coordinator deserves heat. I also feel praise for Fangio. Too much for defense success and not enough criticism for failing offense. Yup. Defensive coordinator deserves more credit for success instead of being in Fangio's shadow. Head coach needs to work to fix any weaknesses on the team, regardless of groups. I did hear one of the press conferences over the week that Coach Fangio was being asked questions. One thing was, the conversation. The offensive coordinators, Kangarillo's in the booth, Fangio's on the field. Both have headsets, talk to each other. I ask, what's that conversation like? And not to quote exactly, I don't want to get any trouble here for misquoting him, but essentially he said, at times there's a lot of conversation, at other times there's not much conversation at all. And I don't understand why that is. Why is there any amount of time where there's not a conversation? When you're the head coach, your offense is struggling as terribly as it has been through the first half of the season, and you're not talking much. Man, I would be in that offensive coordinator's ear the entire time. Hey, we need to do this. Hey, we need to do that. Hey, call up a play for this. Hey, you're calling a run up the middle play on 3rd and 5 at the end of the game where we need a first down to win? No, don't do that. These are things that I want Coach Fangio, just like Andrew was saying, to step up and make some of those changes and, get Scangarillo going. I'm thinking Scangarillo may not be here next year. He had a couple of years, I think 1, if not 2 years under Kyle Shanahan on the 49ers, and this guy was supposed to be fantastic. He has not turned out to be that way. I cannot protect him anymore. This guy, Flacco was right. Flacco was very right. Flacco had his own problems. I'm glad Flacco is done for the year. But Flacco was right when he was talking about how terribly the offensive coordinator, coaching staff have been calling plays. Excuse me. Let's see. Joey says Broncos by 3, 17-14 Broncos. That would be fantastic. Kira, let me hear some more of your score predictions, guys. And we're going to end the show here before too long. Juan says this is the year of backups. Looks like Allen in Carolina and Tannehill in Tennessee and Minshew in Jacksonville. Yep. It certainly is. It's a rough year for quarterbacks around the league, and we are the next victim to that. Richard says, I know we have 2 solid backs in the carries. The carries don't have to be split 50-50. Whoever has the hot hand will get the ball more. Should get the ball more, Richard. Should, yeah. As long as it equals to success, who cares who has more carries? 100%, man. 100%. But I'm telling you right now, if I was a betting man, and I don't know what the over-under is for the Broncos run yardage total. If it was over under 100 yards, I would take the under. Because if I'm the Browns, I'm going back and watching the Kansas City game and seeing how they stopped our run defense or our run offense. How do they stop Phillip Lindsay and Royce Freeman? Because that 29th or 30th, whatever the Chiefs were at the time, they had a terribly ranked run defense in the league. And they shut us down under 100 yards. It was 70-something, if not 80. The Browns are going to do the same thing. I guarantee you the Browns are going to try and do the exact same thing. Richard says 17-10 Broncos. Dylan says, how you doing, man? When Flacco can't move around and the O-line can't protect, I don't blame the offensive coordinator for running. Sorry, I'm going to turn this off. I don't blame the offensive coordinator for running it. I bet we do better on offense now. Again, man, I'm hoping. I'm not even cautiously optimistic. I'm just cautious of both ways. I'm not going to sit here and say, I know he's going to do terrible. I'm not going to sit here and say, I know he's going to do well. I don't know. We have no idea. I'm sitting here hoping that he does do fantastic. I am really hoping, because then the Browns' game plan of just stopping our run game goes out the window. They have to now worry about both our passing game and our run game. But if they stop our run game by loading up the box, which I guarantee you they're going to do to start the game, and then all of a sudden, Allen cannot throw the ball, I don't know, guys. We're going to have to make several in-game adjustments to try and get that pass game going. Because if we have under 120 rush yards total, I think we lose the game. If we have over 120, I think we win the game. I don't know, guys. Again, I'm not a bet man. I'm just sitting here and saying we've got to rack up those rush yards. We've got to find a way to get the run game going. Or if we get the pass game going, that's going to also open up the run game as well. But if the pass game isn't working, our run game will get shut down. All they're going to do is load up the box. Who knows? We'll see. Ann, how you doing today? Glad you're joining. Marcus, Bowles. Yes, Bowles is going to do... I hate talking about Bowles because I hate watching him play. I am so sick of Bowles on the field. And last week, he was supposed to possibly get rotated out of on the field with some of the other guys. Of course, then Juwan James goes down once again. And we have more questions about why the Broncos are paying so much money to a guy who is, yes, arguably one of the best right tackles in the league, but is very injury prone. And now he's out for the year as well, I believe. We'll see what the inactives list is. I have not heard about Juwan James going on the IR yet. I'm not sure. I would not be surprised if Juwan James is on the inactive, which again means that we do not have enough people to take Garrett Bowles off of the field. So it is going to be tough. Let's see. Richard says the bar. Okay, no, let's go back to Pedro. Lots of questions here. Antonio, man, you guys are fantastic. I'm going to get to all the different shows that Orange Weekly we have here on our channel and everything in just a minute, but I want to answer some of these questions. Antonio, now let's see if Alan can get us a W and get the train going. That'd be fantastic to see something like Allen coming in and putting a spark into this offense. That'd be fantastic. Pedro says, one thing I'd be happy about, win or lose, is for the Broncos to cross that 21-point threshold. They haven't scored more than 21 points in a long while. I looked it up a couple weeks ago. I can't remember. I think it was early last year. I cannot remember, guys. So yeah, the Broncos think they can win games with only 16, 17 points. And the majority of the time they can't. If you can get over, with our defense being able to hold most teams, to 16 points, we should be able to win the majority of those games. If we can get up to 27 points, we should be winning most of these games. But our offense cannot do that. So you're right, man. We got to break that threshold and get it in the 20s there. Richard says the bar is set to the floor. Won't take much to do better than Flacco has been this year. You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. Kind of glad Flacco is done for the season. And if you guys watch Orange Weekly in the past, you know that I was pretty excited about him because I was pretty confident that he'd be able to come in, at least just be good enough to move the ball down the field and get us some points in the red zone. But we have not seen that at all. Of course, just makes it look like the previous year's quarterbacks the Broncos have had in the last few. So let's see if Allen can come out and do better. Antonio says, get to Baker Mayfield and force him to turn the ball over. Yes. Again, if we can get to Mayfield, he's not been looking too great this year either. So what can we do to upset him and get him off his game as well? Adam, doesn't matter who a QB is without O-line. Yeah, that works together. There is no pocket. We have been hurting for an O-line for a while, even when Manning was here. Manning had a quick release and was calling audibles. The lack of an O-line and conservative play calling has been killing us. Yeah, man. Peyton Manning was able to get around having a terrible offensive line because he could read the defense so well. Those audibles, he knew exactly what to do. He could get those quick passes, he could just make anything happen. By his talent alone, he made the offensive line look fantastic, even though in reality they were not. Now we have here, I would have liked Flacco to call more audibles. I like to see. Of course, I don't think they're going to let Allen do that. If I'm Allen, I don't have the experience to do that. But this goes back to Flacco last week when he's throwing the coaching staff under the bus. Man, why couldn't you go out there and call an audible? When you heard it was run up the middle on 3rd and 5 on the end of the game, why did you not say, forget that, I'm calling an audible. We're going to do this instead. He's the leader of the team. He's a Super Bowl winning MVP. So I don't know if the coaches are just not letting him do that. And it doesn't matter anymore since it's on IR. So I just don't know if the coach said, we don't want you calling audibles. Dude, you're on the field. Make something happen. Now we have Allen, who I don't think is he just doesn't have the experience to do it. So that offensive line is definitely a worry there. Bull should start in the guard position. The problem is we don't have anyone who's played left tackle before that can move over to left tackle. Antonio, it's not a bad idea. We just don't have the depth. We don't have the personnel able to do this. Josh says we have game state Browns are going down. We will win 24-10. Let's go Broncos. Man, I am hoping. Man, I am excited for this game because just like the Chiefs game, we should have a huge chance. We should have the huge upper hand to win this game, even with Allen being in the game instead of Flacco. We should be able to win this game very easily. Our defense should be able to go out there and just stop their defense. You know what I mean? No problems. Or stop their offense. No problems. But then the question is on our offense. Are we going to be able to run the ball? Knowing that they're going to stack the box and test Allen early. Is Allen going to be able to make some of these plays? Look, if these questions get answered confidently in the first quarter, we have a very good chance of winning this game. Otherwise, I don't know, guys. I just don't know. Valentino, is it time to tank? And what are good things and bad things of tanking? Valentino, some teams like Miami are okay with tanking because they know that they're selling away players and parts and pieces and whatever for draft picks because, 2-3 years, the Dolphins are going to be pretty damn good, if you ask me. Look, I mean, the Dolphins just got to keep Talib, who probably has a couple more good years left in him as well. Broncos country, I just don't think John Elway, Vic Fangio, those are the type of guys to tank. As of up to now, John Elway has been in a win now mode for the last 3 years, 2.5 years. Yeah, 3 years. Okay, he's been in win now mode. Elway's not going to change his mind to saying we're going to tank. Broncos country, Broncos are too proud an organization to just tank on purpose. It's just not what we do. I don't know what's going on behind those closed doors. I don't know if that's the conversation, but who knows? I just really believe that. Look, I don't want us to tank. I want us to go out there and play the best we can and see what kind of depth we have. In these young players. Let's put some of these young players out. We're not getting to the playoffs, guys. I know people like the Mad Fanatic. I love the Mad Fanatic. And he's saying, we're gonna win all these games. Man, I want to believe that so badly. I just don't see it happening. We got to play the Chiefs again. We got to play the Vikings on the road. We got 3 out of 4. The next 4 road games after day, or for the next 4 games after day, 3 of them are on the road. We're not getting there. So why not get some of these younger players? And it gets me into the whole the rant I was giving earlier about Drew Lock and that situation, how absolutely terrible it is, and how absolutely terrible it was that John Elway and company did not look at our quarterback roster during this last offseason and said, we only have one veteran quarterback that has playing experience during the regular season. Everyone else we have, Rypien, Drew Lock, Allen, have 0 regular season experience. Maybe that might be a problem. Maybe we should do something to give ourselves, a chance in case something happens to Flacco, especially knowing how bad our offensive line is. But we didn't do that. Now here we are. Let's see. Richard says because Flacco doesn't care, he hasn't since week 1. He has 0 fire. So I don't disagree with you, Richard. We're going to see if Allen does. Does Allen go out there and fire people up? I don't know. Antonio, on defense, he got OBJ frustrated. That's very true. Let's see. Richard, you see him on the sideline sitting alone. Most other quarterbacks and leaders are talking to their guys, firing them up, leading. Flacco checked out a long time ago. Yeah, I mean, there are times you saw Manning sitting there as well, but he was very vocal. I mean, he'd go to players and why aren't you doing your job? He'd talk to those guys and get them fired up and letting it, if they're doing well, he got excited. Joe Cool is way too cool. He's way too relaxed. I can't stand it. I cannot stand it. Antonio, the hell with tanking. We were going down swinging. I completely agree. Richard says Elway needs to back off some guys and let the guys he hires do their job. We can get in that conversation this next Monday, Tuesday night, but you're not wrong. Jeremy, flew in from Seattle. Let's do this. Jeremy, enjoy the game today. It's going to be a little chilly up in Denver, but beautiful, beautiful football weather, that's for sure. Ripien? I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Ripien? Is it Ripien? I always say Ripien. Ripien? I don't know. Either way, he's now our backup, and we haven't seen him since the preseason, where he did okay, but that's preseason. So, hey guys, really quickly, before I answer some more questions, start posting your score predictions if you haven't already. I'll give you mine here in just a second, but I want to give you a rundown of all the different shows and podcasts that we give you here at Orange Weekly. And we got a pregame podcast. You guys can listen to that right after this show if you want. The postgame podcast, both of those are up on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play. Just search for Orange Weekly. Guys, it's right there. And you can listen to that. Those guys all do a fantastic job about breaking down the pregame and postgame stuff. You got this show right here, Broncos Brunch, Sunday mornings, 10 a.m. Mountain Time. We'll be breaking down every game. Of course, next week we will not be doing it because it is a bye week, but we are going to pick it up after that. We also have our Monday night show, Orange Weekly After Dark, starting at 9 p.m. Mountain Time, and then Tuesday show, Bourbon Broncos and No BS. It used to be Beer Broncos No BS, but after the last couple of years, all of us hosts have pretty much switched to drinking bourbon during the shows anyway, so because of how painful it's all been. So we're just changing it to Bourbon Broncos No BS, 7 p.m. Mountain Time for that one. We also have, let's see, there's so many shows I can't remember. Rays Ragers, if you guys want to hear the betting lines of the day for the Broncos games, even if you're not a betting man, you guys can go check out and see what Vegas is thinking for what's going to happen during the game, all the overs and unders. And man, it's a 5-minute show. That guy's done great. I think before last week's game, he was 19-10 on the season, so he's made some great bets. He's definitely won some money this year. So probably, I'd say that he definitely knows what he's talking about. He's made a good bit of money this year. So check that show out. And then halftime hash, of course. A halftime hash, guys. How could I forget that? As soon as halftime starts, we will be live. I'll be with you today, so you guys can check that out as soon as halftime starts. We will be up and running and talking about the first half of the Broncos game with you guys. So make sure you check that out. It's always a good show. Man, you guys are fantastic. I love it. Okay, let's see some of this right here. It's ripping. Okay, Jeremy, you guys are fantastic. Thanks. Appreciate it. I want to sound at least somewhat smart on my own show, right? Dylan says 2016 Broncos. K Cove, how you doing? So when the Browns win, then what? So first off, appreciate you're watching on YouTube. That's fantastic, man. I think you're our first commenter on a YouTube stream that we've done. So thank you a ton for watching us there. Make sure if you can share that or like it, all that stuff. We'd really appreciate it. So when the Browns win, I can't sit here and say when they win. If they win, there are some questions that definitely need to be answered. But if they win, I don't know. We keep doing what we can. Just like Antonio said earlier, we're not tanking. We're gonna go down swinging. So we're gonna keep going out every week. Hopefully, either way today, this game will push the Broncos to activate Drew Lock. You know, look, it's early November. If they activate him now, he has to wait 3 weeks. That's 1, 2, 3. So the earliest we'd see him is on December 1st against the Chargers at home. But he has to be activated like Monday. I don't know, guys. I don't know. It's tough. Definitely tough. So what I've got from you guys today, and appreciate you guys sticking by throughout the show. I think the highest score that anyone posted was Broncos 21. Let's see. When is Lock available? Week 11. Yes, if he's activated. If he's activated, it would be December 1st because again, he has to wait 3 weeks before he can play once he's activated. So I don't know, guys. This is something that he should have been activated a while ago, at least 2 weeks ago. I think he was cleared to play 3 weeks ago, if not 2 weeks ago, a while ago. He's been cleared to play for a while, and the Broncos have yet to activate him. That's something we can talk about tomorrow night as well. Valentino, 17-13 Cleveland because Chubb scores twice. Red zone and Mayfield turnover will keep us in the game. Man, I wish I could sit here and disagree with you. I do. I wish I could disagree, but I can't. Definitely can't. Cecilia, how you doing? She's angry at Bulls as well. I think everybody is angry at Bulls. I don't blame any of you. Man, this game, it's going to be a close one. I do not think the Broncos are going to get above 20 points. I just don't. I could see the Broncos getting 17, but because I think Chubb's going to do so well against, I think he's definitely going to punch in a couple touchdowns there in the end zone. I think Mayfield's going to throw for 1. I think we could lose something like 21-20. And as heartbreaking as that is, I think that's where we're at, guys. Now, if Allen goes out there and proves that he's ready to go, I'm wrong. And I would be glad to sit here and say I was wrong. But I'm thinking 21-20 Browns. And that's what we do here, guys. It's a no BS kind of environment. You guys can disagree with me. I love I love the Broncos. I hope they go out there and prove me wrong today. But it's just one of those things that, just like Tim says, we have to play all 4 quarters. But we have not seen the Broncos really do that all year. So why is that going to happen today? Unless, like I said, Allen goes out there and kind of lights a spark on the offense and we're able to pass the ball. We can get the passing game going. Our run game's going to get going, and boom, there we go. There we go. But, man, if we can't play all 4 quarters, I just don't see it, guys. I just don't see it. We've seen it too many times already this year. You know, we might play a good half, a bad third quarter. We might play a good first quarter, play a bad second quarter, play a, then a good second half. It just doesn't. It's not working for us. And that's why we're 2-6 right now. That's why we are where we are. I'm worried about. Andrew still says 16-16 tie. So again, man, tie. It's not a loss. It's not a win, but it's not a loss. You know what I mean? It'd be something good. Abby, I thought the stream was messing up. Yeah, it was, and now we're back. I'm about to end the show, but technical difficulties with my computer, but here we go. We're back up and running. The show's about to end. Abdi, I apologize. I do appreciate you watching. Guys, remember, I will be live here on Orange Weekly as soon as halftime starts. Man, it's going to be fantastic. I love the halftime hash show. What do we all do when halftime starts? Man, we all pick up our phones. We go get a snack, we get another beer, whatever it is, guys. But end of the day, we pick up our phones, right? As soon as halftime starts. Well, you can guarantee that we will be live. We'll be live here on Orange Weekly. So please go check us out as soon as halftime starts. I'd love to talk to you guys about the first half of the game and see what you guys are thinking about it before we start the second half. There's going to be a lot of questions that we're going to have answered by the second half, by halftime, in terms of how the offense is doing. And that's probably going to be what flows in the second half. So love to talk to you guys about that. I will see you there. Remember, 2:25 p.m. Mountain Time kickoff. If you guys are going to the game, fantastic. Tell some people about Orange Weekly. Keep spreading the word. We'd appreciate it here. Let's see. Last comment. Audrey says we need to stop Nick Chubb too. Man, there's a lot of things we got to do. Offense and defense. But Nick Chubb is one of them. Got to win the turnover battle somehow. Got to play all 4 quarters. Allen has to go out there and at least be able to throw the ball somewhat to get our run game going. Man, all of those have to happen. Marcus says Denver 16, Browns 27. Look, the Broncos average is 16. So the fact that I'm sitting here and saying they're going to score 20, man, I'm already thinking they're going to do better than their season average. But they're still going to lose. A lot of these scores I'm seeing from you guys for the most part is saying that we're going to score around our season average. Tim is the highest. What do you say? He thinks that they're going to score the most points out of anyone else who's put their score predictions down at 24. And that'd be fantastic. Man, that would say that, man, maybe this Allen guy is better than we thought. So we'll see, guys. Again, thanks for watching. My name is Kev Dan. You're watching us here on Orange Weekly for Broncos Brunch every Sunday morning, except for next Sunday morning because it's a bye week. 10 a.m. Mountain Time, otherwise on our halftime hash show. I'll also be back here for you guys tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Mountain Time, and the Tuesday show. Bourbon Broncos No BS at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. So thanks again for watching, guys. I appreciate it. We will see you all later. Go Broncos. Let's try and get that win. Ooh, it's going to be a fun game to watch, that's for sure. Okay, guys. See you at halftime. Take care.